And hello, one and all. We are live. Welcome to episode 6 of the Giza Wrestling Report. And with me, joining me once again for another edition of the Giza Wrestling Report, I have my good friend Gene, also known as BSP Wrestling Show. Gene, thank you once again for joining me for one of these editions. Great to have you on.
Oh, yeah, it's great to be on. You know, I enjoy talking wrestling with you, so yeah, let's get right into it.
Absolutely. Folks, we have a myriad of topics, and of course, the links to all of the articles that are retrieved or can be found down below in the description box. And of course, all of these articles come from WrestleZone.com, so shout out and credit to them. So here we go, Gene. Let's kick topics off here. We first have some Paige news. Of course, this broke last week while I was doing my last edition of the Giza Wrestling Report. Paige apparently proposes to Alberto Del Rio in the middle of a wrestling ring. And according to, this was at Lucha Libre New Generation, they posted a following video on Facebook which showed Paige, she was the one that proposed to Alberto Del Rio in the middle of a ring at tonight's WWC Anniversary 43 show in Puerto Rico. Because the proposal took place at a pro wrestling show, it remains unconfirmed whether or not the proposal was legit, but the way it's being reported by the promotion and based on Paige's event comments, it is real. So it's a real proposal. And before we get into discussing this next article was interesting. Paige's father, which he eventually deleted this post, spoke out against Paige and Del Rio possibly getting married. This is what Paige's father said. It's unclear whether Del Rio or not actually said yes, but Paige's father, Ricky Knight, has posted the following on Facebook, and he spoke out against his daughter's proposal, potential engagement. And also it's stated in this article, Paige is currently suspended, and she is currently she underwent successful neck surgery on Wednesday of this week, which will keep her out of action wherever she wrestles until spring of 2017. So, Gene, we'll start with you. With all of this out of the way, what are your thoughts on Paige's current situation, and where do you see her going from here?
Oh, man, this thing is all over the place. And by that, I mean, you have the WWE trying to break them up. You have apparently her father not really on board with the fact that she's trying to marry Del Rio. You have Del Rio who left the company. Paige is suspended at this point, which is now 60 days, I believe. Yes. She just underwent neck surgery. So she's going to be out of action till 2017. You have her proposing to him instead of him proposing to her. She's at a different wrestling event than the one she should be at, even though she's suspended from the WWE. I don't know how that works if she's allowed to be there.
I guess so.
But oh my God, this is all over the place, and it's real. She's really trying to marry him. Oh my goodness, this thing is all over the place.
A soap opera. I mean, sure, you could see this on like Days of Our Lives, As the World Turns, but don't forget to mention this: Del Rio is still technically married, so even he has to go through the procedure of divorce, so he can't. Right. Don't forget that, folks. I mean, oh my God, it's just tough keeping up with this situation. I just hope for the best because I'm a huge Paige fan. I have been since I've seen her debut on Raw in 2014, and just to see the spiral out of control for her, it's sad.
I think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think her time in WWE is almost up.
I hate to say, I think she needs to leave. That's what I think she needs to do, and then time will heal all wounds, and then come back. I feel like if she continues to stay, she's going to get fired.
Yeah.
What I was hearing was the only reason they didn't fire her was because she had the neck surgery. She didn't have neck surgery, she would have been fired.
Wow.
But they can't. It would look bad for them if they fired somebody that needed neck surgery.
It would. It definitely would. It wouldn't look good on the company. And they're trying to cover their bases and, not trying to do anything that would get any negative connotation about them. Oh, you fired her and she needed surgery.
That looks very bad.
Yeah, that would look very bad. They're going to wait till she's healthy and do it.
Then you fire her. Probably on her wedding day.
Oh, my God.
That sounds familiar.
You're going to send her the papers via FedEx on her wedding. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Triple H doesn't like Del Rio as it is, so, hey, the game strikes again.
I don't know what his beef is with. That was a nice impersonation, by the way. I don't know what his beef with Del. What is his beef with Del Rio? What problems does he have? I like Del Rio. I don't have a problem with him.
He's a little boring, a little dry for me, at least in WWE. But I heard in Lucha Underground he was actually happy. So, I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Like his first run was great. his heel work was great and during his first run, and then like his face work when he finally turned face, that was great as well.
But then it just went downhill.
They brought him back. They put him with Zeb Coulter, and then they put him in the League of Nations. Like,
nope.
The booking of him was just terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I'd like to see him go back to Lucha. I feel like that would just be the logical play. He seemed happy there from what I heard. So why don't you go back to where you were happy at? And it's a great product. So you know what? I'd like to see Paige there as well. Can you imagine Paige and Lucha Underground, folks?
Wow. And she was already, on her anti-diva persona when she first, was starting off at NXT, came up to the main roster. So, I mean, she could be a very mysterious character in Lucha Underground, and it could work.
I think it could. So anything else you want to say? Because I really don't want to talk about this for too long because it is their personal. I hate discussing people's personal business, but it is a topic, and it's been a major topic for the past couple of weeks. So we continue to see where this situation will go, though. We're going to have to continue to follow it, of course.
I wish them all the best in their future endeavors.
Exactly, for both of them. So, well, speaking of the future, let's talk about WWE Hell in a Cell. And this was stated by Mick Foley, which he later went back on this. But here's what he originally said, folks. And Jim Ross reported this on Twitter, that as of now, Banks versus Charlotte inside the cell will main event Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. And Mick Foley also confirmed the report, which he later redacted. Here's what he said. Chills. Forget for a moment about Stephanie McMahon's jumping high five or my awkward attempt to hug the Raw commissioner. The biggest moment of the night for us came when WWE cameras were off, and Stephanie and I just looked at the Hell in a Cell poster, realizing that for hashtag women's wrestling, history is upon us, as Banks and Charlotte will main event the pay-per-view. I am so happy for Sasha, for Charlotte, for all the women who paved the way, and all those who aspire to follow in their footsteps. It is no exaggeration to say that looking at that poster gave me chills, and they were multiplying. So in this quote, what did he say? They will main event. And he later went back on to, what did he say? Oh, it's the match order ain't officially determined. I was just saying, it kind of went off the rails there. And obviously, I think the company got on him. They had to make sure he backpedaled. And now we don't know what will main event. I hope it's the women. I hope that's what they do. I think it's a B pay-per-view, a C show. It's Hell in a Cell. It's not one of the bigger pay-per-views. Why not allow the women to go out there and to have the opportunity in Boston, her hometown, Sasha Banks, nonetheless. Right time, right place. It's really the only cell match I care about. Gene, what are your thoughts on what Foley said, him redacting, and what do you think will main event Hell in a Cell?
I definitely do think they should give the women the okay to main event this pay-per-view because, like you said, it's not really one of the more important ones, but it is kind of important for the sense it's the first women's Hell in a Cell match ever. They've never done it before. I think they've done like a steel cage before. Have they?
Lita was involved in that.
Yeah, I think Lita was involved at that. But I mean, you have the Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens thing, which is pretty important.
It is.
But at the same time, you just built them up a couple weeks ago on Raw for main eventing Raw. And now, you have the first ever women's Hell in a Cell match. Why not have it main event, like you said, in Sasha's hometown? It would get the crowd more invested into it because they're rooting for her. It's the hometown crowd. You get way more cheers. Because I was at SmackDown a few weeks ago, and The Miz was getting cheered. I live in Cleveland. He's from Cleveland. The Miz was getting cheered. We love The Miz here. So I'm sure Boston loves Sasha Banks. And with the fact that it's the first women's Hell in a Cell match, put it on the main event. But with Mick Foley kind of retracting it a little bit, it kind of takes away from his credibility. It makes it seem like he's only just a character. Because he's supposed to be the Raw GM. He makes majority of the decisions, of course, along with Stephanie McMahon. Yeah, kayfabe-wise. So if you're going back, making this statement that they're going to main event and then taking it back, he kind of loses some credibility here.
You know what he looks like? I'm going to say it. He looks like a stupid idiot.
That just made the list.
Foley,
he's going on the list.
You're on the list, buddy. Oh my God. I can't say that. I had to say that. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're fine. We got to put these stupid idiots on the list.
Seriously, can we put the creative team on the list for God's sakes? Every single one of them. It's awful, Raw. It's awful. But
right.
Yeah, I agree. I it just what do you have to look? Reigns versus Rusev? Hell no. That's to me that I mean, if it was built correctly, yes, it deserves to be in a Hell in a Cell, but it hasn't been built correctly. I feel the feud has been uninspired, should not main event. I could see them going with the Universal title being it is the most important title on the roster. Okay, but I feel like we just jumped a number of matches that Rollins and Owens should have had to have gotten to Hell in a Cell. It's like we went all the way from their first match to now, well, let's just put it in Hell in a Cell because it's the Universal title and it's Hell in a Cell time. We have to water down this once great gimmick. So to me, Sasha and Charlotte is the only one that should have been in the cell. Should only be one cell match. Well, there shouldn't even be a pay-per-view to begin with named Hell in a Cell. But that's the other issue here. But I just hope that they go with the women. Because what do you have to lose? Nothing.
Pull the trigger on them. It would make sense.
Exactly. So we'll have to see what direction they go in. But anything else, Gene, you want to say about what Foley said here?
Well, just one more quick thing. It's going to be brief, but another reason why they should be the main event of this pay-per-view or whatever, you're trying to make history and trying to make these women feel important. So, you give them the main event of Raw. Okay, that's fine. You do a couple women's championship matches on Raw. Okay, fine. But you put them inside Hell in a Cell and have them main event to close out a show and know they can put on a great match and it's going to be inside Hell in a Cell, the pressure will be on, but it'll be good pressure because we both know these women can work. So I think you should pull the trigger on it.
Just don't have Charlotte do a moonsault off the top of the cell, please.
She will kill herself doing that.
I don't want to see anybody die or be paralyzed. Just don't do it, please.
Her leg is going to get caught inside the... Oh, my God.
Okay. I trust they'll be safe, but I'm a little worried at the same time. So we'll see. We'll see how the match turns out. Let's talk about viewership numbers, folks. As you all know, Raw this week featured the return of Bill Goldberg. And this, of course, increased Raw's ratings twofold. They went up from last week's poor numbers of 2.758 million to 3.130 million viewers for the average. Here are the hourly breakdowns, folks. First hour, 3.167 million. Second hour, 3.106 million. And final hour, 3.118 million viewers. So viewership went up. It went back up over 3 million viewers. And I knew they were going to get big numbers for Goldberg's return. The interesting thing that illustrates right here is people are willing to tune into Raw if you give them something interesting. Now, I don't know what you thought of Raw this last week. I thought it was, besides Goldberg's return, awful show. Completely hot garbage, as the New Day would say. Just piss poor effort. I was falling asleep halfway through it. I was just like, they're clearly not trying because they know they have Goldberg, which is a damn shame because look at these numbers going up. It demonstrates that people are willing to tune in. So instead of giving them something interesting with the new talent, what do? Nothing interesting at all. And the only thing that mattered was Goldberg, a guy who is 49 years old. Keep that in mind. I love seeing him back. Don't want to take that away. But what happens once he's gone? Lesnar's gone. Cena's gone. Taker doesn't come back anymore. Who's your future?
Yeah.
Who we building? The future. Where's the future? It upsets me. I'm sorry. A little rant here, but your thoughts?
The only, okay. I've been crapping on this potential Goldberg and Brock Lesnar match because it's not going to be great, in my opinion. I don't think it will be. But I can't lie. I marked out for Goldberg's entrance.
Amazing.
I marked. They had the wrestlers in the back hyping him up.
Yes.
He's walking like a badass to the ring. They give him the WCW old original theme.
Yep.
They give him the pyro. The crowd put him over. Oh, my. It was great.
Yes, it was.
But if you don't lead up to that, because everybody knew he was coming,
sure.
Everybody knew it was going to be the last thing that happened. But if you don't give them an enjoyable show just because, we have Goldberg, what's the point here?
Lazy. They're lazy. I mean, they can, again, July 25th, folks, I will keep shoving that day down your throat until the day I croak. They can put on a good 3-hour Raw. They did it in Pittsburgh, PA. They could have done it last Monday. Will they do it tonight? Probably not. But we'll get into that by the end of this show.
Yeah, but it was great seeing Goldberg back.
Yes, it was.
I think he's a little bit I mean no disrespect to him because I actually like Goldberg, but I say he's a little too old for this match with Lesnar.
I think he'll surprise people. I really do.
I hope so, because
I'd
Brock
lo-
Lesnar's matches lately have not been enjoyable.
Yeah. Trying to think through it. Well, Orton. I kind of like the Orton match more than a lot of people did. You know, Ambrose was awful. That was disappointing. The triple threat of Fastlane.
I was there for that match. I think that was the last match I've enjoyed, and it wasn't because of Brock.
Yeah,
that's the sad thing. His triple threat matches are excellent. The one he had with Cena and Rollins at Royal Rumble, I think 2 years ago.
Match of the year. That was a match.
Yeah, match of the year candidate right there.
Probably Taker in the cell.
Yeah, that was a good match because they let somebody actually get in some legitimate offense over Brock Lesnar. Okay, I know he's unstoppable for us. I know he's the beast. Sorry, I'm ranting for a second. But Orton looked like he had never wrestled. He looked like he did back in like 2004 and 5 before he won the world championship, though. He looked like an amateur in there with Brock. Okay, he hit, 2 RKOs in that match? Fine. That's okay. Cool. Everybody went crazy for that, but you made Orton look like he's not a future Hall of Famer.
I agree in that I felt like the SummerSlam match was just getting going, and if they gave it another 10 minutes, it could have been something special. I don't know if you felt the same way.
Yeah, I did feel that way.
It was just starting, and then it's like, it's over. I'm like, really?
I mean, okay, yeah, the ending wasn't that bad to me.
Okay.
You have him, lose by, what was it, TKO? All right, cool. He didn't get pinned. But then you have the squash match at a live show in Chicago, and he gets in the ring and just dies. Like, what was the point of this whole thing? The best part of this was when Orton appeared on Raw after the draft and RKO'd him out of nowhere. That was the best part of this. Brock's lazy, man.
I mean, well, if I was in his position and I was getting paid $5 million,
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
You know what he said? Remember on the Stone Cold thing? Punch in, a punch out.
Yep, that's it. He's like, oh, I'm getting paid for this? Cool.
It is a nice life.
Flex repeat.
But yeah, I agree. He has been getting lazier. We'll have to see. I'd like to just see him and Goldberg. I know they have it in them. I know Goldberg will bring it because of his son. That's motivation enough. The question is, will Brock want to bring it? Motivation.
I wish I doubt.
I'm still interested. It gives a big match for Survivor Series, which I'm sure will be confirmed tonight. So at least we're trying to make Survivor Series great again. So we'll have to see how they do with that. But I just want a good episode of Raw tonight with Lesnar being on there. And we'll talk about Raw by the end of this podcast in the preview. But anything else you want to say about the viewership numbers for last week?
Well, it's a good thing that they're up, but they probably won't last. Maybe they'll be okay probably tonight because of Brock, but after that, no.
Nope, because Monday Night Football. So, all right, folks, we have Undertaker injury news update. As you all know, the image circulated several weeks ago of Taker being on crutches, and PWInsider.com now is reporting that Undertaker recently had hip surgery, and that is the reason he was seen in new photos using crutches. For those unaware, photos of Taker surfaced on Reddit last week, showing him using crutches while posing for photos with fans. PWInsider.com also noted it is unknown if this would change any WrestleMania plans, as it is Taker's decision each year to wrestle. Gene, I'm throwing it out there. Do you think we will see Undertaker at WrestleMania next year? I say yes.
I'm going to agree with you. And the reason why is because his WrestleMania match last year with Shane wasn't that difficult on him physically.
No.
Because Shane is not that big, so it wasn't like, you had a Brock Lesnar in there destroying Taker and, taking a toll on his body even more. You had Shane in there who's maybe a little bit more safer, a little bit more smaller, won't do that much damage to him. Mm-hmm. So I think he'll be at WrestleMania this year.
Now, who do you think his opponent will be if he wrestles? That's an interesting one.
I'm going to throw this out there. John Cena.
Okay. I could see that. Yeah. It would make sense. Unless they do Cena Styles, which I feel like if they go in that direction, if Cena's with Styles in the singles match and he wins his 16th championship, which I just feel like that's the direction that they're going to go in. If they don't go with Cena Taker and they have Cena Styles, then who would you see his opponent being?
If they're going to go with Cena and Styles, there's only one condition. condition, as Matt Hardy would say. There's only one condition for that. I would need Cena to turn heel and AJ to turn face. Double turn. I need that.
I called for that. That was my fantasy.
You did. I believe I got it from you, actually.
Thank you.
I need that double turn at WrestleMania and for him to win his 16-time world championship, because now he's accomplished it. He's done it, and he can finally turn on the fans.
With the figure 4 leg lock.
Oh, my. If he does the figure 4 leg lock. Oh, my God. I will mark out.
Do it. Do it, Vince. Come on. Just money. Print money.
Oh my gosh, take my money now.
That's a video idea that I'm going to do down the line, closer to Mania.
Okay.
Boo, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Oh man, it'll make millions.
And the millions.
The millions. See, I'm like you, Dad.
But yeah, as you were saying, man, maybe
Sting
Kevin Owens?
retired because
I know Sting. I don't know. He's done.
It's got to make sense.
It would
a match at Mania.
So not style.
He's already did Bray.
Yeah.
Maybe if he's ready. Another wild name to throw out. If he's ready.
Ooh. Oh wait,
Braun
it's just
Strowman.
Braun. Okay.
Maybe if he's ready.
What about Finn Balor?
Oh.
The demon
versus the dead man.
Oh, writes itself.
Book it, man.
It ain't hard to do. It's sad. We could put together a better card than we'll probably get from their 30 freaking writers.
Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do like a fantasy card for WrestleMania.
Definitely, I'm down for that. I'm doing one next week for Survivor Series. So yeah, that'll be something I'll keep in the back of my mind as we get closer to Mania season. But yeah,
it would have to make sense. That would make sense.
Balor could be an option. I mean, and you put him over as like they should have done to Bray. I'm sorry, Taker doesn't need to win. Remember when he beat Bray? Michael Cole went, he's 22-1.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I honestly think Bray should have been the one to break the streak.
He should,
to be honest. Because if you think about it, what did Brock need that for? He didn't.
No, I mean,
if they're gonna build up, I'm sorry to cut you off. If they're building up to somebody eventually beating Brock Lesnar, and somebody being elevated and created as a star off of that, then fine. But if you're not gonna do that, give it to somebody who could actually do something with it. I don't know, man. It doesn't make any sense anymore.
No, that's the problem. But we'll have to see. But yeah, anything else you want to say about Undertaker and WrestleMania? Got a good little discussion going there.
I hope he's, healthy enough to be at WrestleMania. I believe that's why he's doing his surgeries and stuff now. He still has a few months.
He'll be ready.
And, I hope he's fine.
Royal Rumble, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. So, yeah, let's get into more viewership news. I wanted to mention this. SmackDown Live this week, which I thought was an enjoyable, solid show. This seems to be the average number of viewers that they've nestled in, which featured the AJ Styles versus James Ellsworth main event, averaged 2.405 million viewers. This was only slightly down from 2.448 million viewership the week before. So it seems like SmackDown has been able to rebound and get their viewership numbers up. Still nowhere close to beating Raw in the ratings, which I hope will happen one day. But it is nice to see that they maintain steady viewership after featuring a pretty steep decline. I mean, I know they got up to 2.8 million, and it looked like they were going to go higher and higher, but they kind of went back down. So hopefully in the weeks and months to come, we'll see this viewership number continue to go up. Gene, any thoughts you want to say about SmackDown's viewership this week?
The kick heard round the world.
No chin music.
No chin music. It was great. That should have been the reason for their viewership. I'm glad their viewership is steady, though.
Sure.
It's a consistently good show, or average show, I should say. But it's enjoyable. It's 2 hours. It's right to the point. You can watch it and then just go do something else afterwards. You don't have to look at the clock like, man, I wish this was over. Cough, cough, Raw tonight. But, yeah. It's very enjoyable. I'm glad their viewership is, maintaining itself and not dropping below average numbers. So Yeah,
Sure.
it's pretty good.
So good news there. So let's move on to the next item here, folks. Backstage news on Mickie James' WWE return, and here were the original plans for Asuka at TakeOver. It was previously reported that Mickie James' deal to return to WWE was completed in the days before she was announced to return as Asuka's TakeOver Toronto challenger. The Wrestling Observer newsletter updated the story, but it noted that WWE wanted Mickie at last week's NXT tapings for the announcement. But she was in Europe with her husband, Magnus. As of right now, she is only scheduled for the TakeOver event in Toronto, and she recently moved to Orlando, and they're scheduled to return home early in November from touring. Before James was contacted, the original plan was said to be for Trish to face Asuka, with Trish's hometown reaction turning Asuka into the heel. The plans changed after it was learned that Stratus is pregnant with her second child, but the idea was for Asuka to go heel on Trish, allowing Ember Moon to be a bigger face while eventually challenging Asuka. I find this interesting. Not the fact that Trish won't be able to compete, which we all knew. She's having her second kid. Congratulations to her. But the fact that they were interested in turning Asuka heel and going with the idea, I feel like NXT would be TakeOver Orlando, WrestleMania weekend. I feel that you build to the match between Ember Moon and Asuka, where Moon would beat Asuka and become the new top woman on NXT. At least that's the direction I think they should go in long term. But I find it interesting they are still considering turning Asuka heel. Gene, do you think we'll see an Asuka heel turn at TakeOver Toronto transpire against Mickie James?
I think it's probably bound to happen. They wanted Trish because she's Canadian. The crowd loves her. Mm-hmm. It would have been great. You turn Asuka heel because Trish is going to be the baby face, of course. She's not going to come back just to be heel. No. And then this is simple booking right here. You have a veteran woman in the business come in while you have your NXT Women's Champion turn heel to build towards a later feud with an up-and-coming woman in NXT to become the top babyface woman in NXT. How hard is that to book? It's not.
No, in NXT, I love that we have an idea of where they're headed, I love it.
Sense.
There's a direction.
Oh, if they could have had Trish, thank God. I mean, congrats on her for having her second child. That's or, great. Being pregnant with her second child. Yes. Incredible news. Good job for her and her family. I'm happy for them. But that would have been great to have Trish there. But Mickie James isn't bad either.
Oh, I love Mickie. I hope we see her. I'd like to see her come back. I feel she would be more needed on the Raw brand. Really, on the women's side, they need depth badly with Paige not coming back anytime soon. And, yeah, I'd like to see her return on the Raw brand. But that's just me,
But she's putting over – if they turn Asuka heel, she's putting over two women in one.
Yes.
She's putting over Asuka as the top heel woman in NXT. And then you have Ember Moon, who's eventually going to be built up to have her match with Asuka around WrestleMania weekend, if that's when they're going to, do it. And it probably a big, big match because these two will go at it. And Asuka hasn't really had that good of a challenger to challenge her. So there you go. Simple booking. I love NXT.
Exactly. And I've heard from the live events that they've been putting on some really good matches, Ember Moon and Asuka. So, yeah. Ooh. TN Couponer in the comments section mentioned, what do you think of Bayley and Mickie as, a good team?
I think it would work, but I think Bayley is a little bit too innocent.
Yeah.
Because Mickie James is like...
psycho.
Yeah, psycho. Completely psycho. And not just regular psycho.
Oh, Bayley versus Mickie James, I think, would be a good feud.
Ooh, yeah. It would be. It could get Bayley over. It could give her something to do if they're not going to, include her in the Women's Championship right now, which I don't think they have to rush her to it.
No, you slow build to that. But like I said, I feel like Mickie, hopefully we see her on the Raw brand. They need the depth. I hope that's the direction they go with her in the long run. I don't see why if you're bringing her back for this, just put her on Raw full time. I mean, they need the depth, and she would be a great veteran presence, similar to how Natalya is the veteran talent on SmackDown.
That would be great to do. I would enjoy that feud. It would be different. It wouldn't have anything to do with the Women's Championship. It would kind of be like on SmackDown. You have, Carmella and Nikki Bella in a way, except not maybe the same, premise as that rivalry is, but still at the same time you're invested in it, and it doesn't have anything to do with the title.
or Mickey versus Sasha for the championship. Mickey versus Charlotte. There's just a number of Mickey versus Nia Jax. There'll be a number of good.
Nia Jax is still on Raw. Where is she?
She's on Superstars.
Oh my God! Why did they bring her up?
I know. I liked what they were doing with her when she beat the fuck out of Alicia Fox, but now it's like, where's she at?
Where's Summer Rae at too?
Well, she's injured. I know she was dealing with some nagging injuries, so that.
Oh, okay. She's hurt. Yeah. Okay, well that makes sense then.
Alicia, I like crazy Alicia Fox. No, we can't do that. Okay, whatever.
No, we're just gonna okay.
And we're gonna have Bayley versus Dana Brooke, and Dana will botch the finish.
Oh.
Sorry, I couldn't.
Why did she botch it?
That was
all
bad.
She had to do was put her feet on the ropes, and she couldn't even do that. Oh.
Stupid idiot.
She's going on the list too. Oh, she's going on twice.
Put her on the list. That's great. Man, they should seriously have Jericho just rip Raw apart. For 3 hours, that would be better than anything they could script.
I would watch that. I would love it.
He just sits in the ring. He's got a big old list, and he just shitty
Give
booking.
Jericho a live mic for 3 hours. He would bury the company.
Yeah, he would. Michael Cole every week's on the list. You know what? Hey, they are. It's awful. So, but anyways, getting back on track here, I'm really looking forward to TakeOver Toronto. I'm looking forward finally to Survivor Series weekend. I think we're in store for a really good weekend of just really good wrestling. So hopefully everything delivers.
Yeah.
So speaking of NXT, we got a little injury update, and this is really good, surprisingly good injury news about Hideo Itami, who suffered a neck injury, and the timeline for him returning, according to the Wrestling Observer, is he will only be out of action, thank God, for 2 months. And had he required surgery, he could have been out of action up to 6 months. So I was worried that this might be the end of Hideo Itami in NXT. Just one too many injuries. It just seems like the guy can't catch a break. Glad to hear it was only 2 months versus a dramatic 6 months. So that would put him, I think, back on track to be at the NXT Japan shows, which, he's dying, obviously, to be on there. So really good news for fans of Hideo Itami, as I am. And I just hope he's able to stay healthy.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely good news. It's good news that it's only a 2-month injury than a 6 month, because he just came back from a very severe shoulder injury that was even worse than originally said. Sure. I think he got set back a few times.
They messed up the surgery.
Yeah, they botched it. They're going on the list. But it's good that it's only like a very slight injury, and it won't be very long before he comes back again.
Yeah, so I know they were probably going to go with Aries versus Itami, and I'd like to see them continue that feud. I think it would be a really good feud for Hideo. So we'll have to see where they go with. Speaking of a really good feud that we'd all like to see happen at the Royal Rumble, yes, you know where I'm going with this, AJ Styles talks about a possible match against the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels at the Royal Rumble. In an interview with Sports Illustrated, this is what he said on the Internet Rumors. I would love the opportunity to wrestle Michaels. I'd love to learn from him. But who's to say if that's going to happen? Right now, it's all speculation and rumors, and I'm finding out like everyone else is. But, man, what a match it would be. Styles took the words right out of my mouth. If this match could happen in front of 60-plus thousand fans screaming at the Alamo Dome, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, coming back for one more chance at claiming WWE Championship gold. God almighty, what a slobber knocker, as Jim Ross would say.
I love that.
Could you imagine the passion and the emotion? That's how it should be called, but we'd have Morrow call that if that's a SmackDown match. Big plus there. Somebody that actually calls the matches.
Yep.
But, man, could you imagine? I just get goosebumps thinking. One more match.
Ooh.
Could it happen? Do you see it happening? I don't know.
I do. I could see it happening.
San Antonio.
And it's like, oh my gosh, everything lines up perfectly. When you talk about dream matches, this is one of them. Like Cena and AJ was already a dream match, but HBK, Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels versus the phenomenal AJ Styles.
One of my all-time favorites. I always love Shawn.
All you
Amazing.
have to do to book this match is bring AJ out. Tell him he's the greatest of all time. He should be in the Hall of Fame right now. He's just whatever. And just bring Shawn Michaels out and just have a face-to-face. And there you go. There you go. You have it booked. It's there. Oh, my God. This would be a great match. Can you imagine the spots in this match? Not saying it should be a spot fest, but just like the wrestling.
Yes.
Oh, my God. This would
be a clinic.
I could just see AJ coming off for a phenomenal forearm and catching the
there it is. Boom!
Oh my God!
Music! It took his head off! For God's sake!
Oh
man!
My God, that match would be
commentary for that match. That would be a great match to call.
My gosh, I would watch that match.
I'd do live reactions. I'd definitely be doing live reactions if that happens.
Oh, yes.
That would be great. I mean, if you haven't seen my Styles Cena live reactions, thought that was crazy, Styles Michaels would be blowing the roof off my house. Man, I want to see it. I want to see it. WWE, listen to me really well. I want to see this match. Make it happen. I don't care how much money you have to throw at Shawn Michaels. Throw it. I feel like this would be for any. Don't have him just be in the Rumble. No. No. If he's going to come back, you have to be something big. This is the perfect opportunity. As Solid Monster mentioned yesterday on his podcast, which you should check out every week, it would have been, 20 years since Shawn Michaels challenged Psycho Sid at the 97 Royal Rumble? Story writes itself, folks.
Yep, it definitely does. Come on, man. Just you throw money at Brock for nothing to stand there while Paul Heyman puts him over. Just book this match. That's it. Just do it.
We'll see.
You know how many people would watch that?
A lot.
You talk about viewership? I would buy the network just to watch that match. If I didn't already have it.
I don't know if Shawn, he sticks to his word, which I do respect him if he does, but man, this would just be one more go.
Just one more Christian match, please.
Yes.
Just have Christian at his house. Just one more match.
Exactly. And I just like the fact that Styles is bringing it up, so I think that gives a little credence to it, and we'll have to see. Where things go, but they want to make Royal Rumble a huge deal. I mean, you got the Rumble match, you got Michaels versus Styles. You could do potentially Goldberg versus Lesnar, the rubber match. If Lesnar and him are tied up 1-1, there you go. There's another match. I mean, it's just like, whoever Kevin Owens faces, Finn Balor could return at this event. You bring back Kurt Angle at the Royal Rumble, Undertaker at the Royal Rumble. You could have a really huge Royal Rumble, guys.
That Royal Rumble would be incredible. Just 3 names right there you just said. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels. Well, 5 names. Kurt Angle, Shawn Michaels, Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, and what was the last one?
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor. There you go. What Royal Rumble? Can we just have it now? Just put it on the screen right now. Let's just do it now.
Yes. And
we'll all enjoy it as wrestling fans.
I think we're in store for a really good Royal Rumble next year. With the amount of talent we've got on the roster, it's going to be the Royal Rumble match itself should be really good.
Oh yes. Oh, the possibilities are endless.
Because I'd like to see this year's Royal Rumble was really good for the first time in a couple of years, so I want them to continue that tradition. Let's keep making the Royal Rumble good.
The concept of the Royal Rumble was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, okay, you win the Royal Rumble, you get a title shot. No, you win the Royal Rumble, you get the title. Like, the ramifications of the match were completely different.
Sure.
Since like the 90s, I believe, or whenever it happened the first time.
92.
Yeah, 92, right.
So we'll have to see what they do for the Royal Rumble, folks. But yeah, anything else you want to say about this potential dream match taking place?
Yep. I got just 2 words for you. Do it.
Yes, exactly. So switching gears here, folks, a little sad news to report. Former WWE manager Frenchie Martin passed away at the age of 66. He had a long battle with cancer. His real name was Jean Gagne. I don't know if he was related to Vern in any way, but back in September, the Montreal Journal published an article noting Gagne had moved to hospice care and had the following to say on his life. I led an extraordinary life. I am proud to have succeeded in the world of wrestling. I am no more worthy than another, but I'm not afraid of death. I accept the result. So not really familiar with this guy's work, but it's sad. always to hear when somebody connected to the pro wrestling business passed away, especially to a battle with cancer, which has affected many, and it's just sad to hear. So just wanted to send our thoughts and condolences to his family and friends.
Yeah, definitely. It's always sad to hear that somebody in the wrestling business, no matter how much you've known about them or not, passes away. It's just very sad.
Definitely. So, yeah, rest in peace. Here's some news, folks, about the date and location for the final WWE pay-per-view before WrestleMania 33. The BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, has confirmed that Fastlane will take place on Sunday, March 5th. It will be the final major event heading into next year's massive WrestleMania 33 event in Orlando, and the first ever non-WrestleMania pay-per-view in history to take place in the month of March. Well, WWE has yet to confirm which brand will work Fastlane in 2017. There's been a lot of talk coming out of tonight's Raw brand live event in Milwaukee that the pay-per-view would be a SmackDown brand exclusive pay-per-view. So it looks like if Fastlane is SmackDown, then that would mean Elimination Chamber, which they're bringing back, which I believe would take place in February, would be a Raw exclusive pay-per-view. I'm still not a fan of the 2 pay-per-views a month concept. I think it's too much. Especially, I feel like there shouldn't be any pay-per-views in the month of March, because that's WrestleMania month. You want to just have nothing. You want to just be on the goal, on the road, focusing on building to WrestleMania. Hell, I'll go one step forward. I don't think there should be a pay-per-view between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. You know what I mean? It should just be Rumble, and then let's focus and build to WrestleMania. Gene, what are your thoughts on Fastlane coming back and it potentially being a SmackDown exclusive event?
I enjoyed Fastlane, this past Fastlane, because it was here in Cleveland as well, and I was there. I enjoyed it, but I gotta agree with you here. I don't think there should be any more pay-per-views between the Rumble and WrestleMania. This should be your time to use your shows to build up to that, because you're gonna have Elimination Chamber, which if it's for Raw, it's just gonna be a clusterfuck of tag team matches inside of there, and you're gonna have a 6-woman Elimination Chamber match. You're not gonna do that. No. Come on. You're just going to throw a bunch of mid-card jobbers in there or something? Come on.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense. The Elimination Chamber should be one match, and it shouldn't be a pay-per-view name, just like Hell in a Cell.
It's lazy.
Closing it. It doesn't, like the Money in the Bank pay-per-view when they used to do the 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches, like, no. You don't need a pay-per-view just to do those matches. They need to be exclusive. They need to feel special. I don't think they should have any pay-per-views between Rumble and WrestleMania. Now, Roadblock was different. It was kind of like a live show, but it meant something. So maybe if you do like that, where you include both Raw and SmackDown, I think that could work, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it would do any justice to anybody.
I mean, I'm already burned out on the split pay-per-views. I don't know about you. It's just like it's too much. I mean,
yeah. We had a little break now between now and Hell in a Cell.
Thank God, but it's just like, why couldn't they have done? My idea was you do one Raw, 1 month, SmackDown the next month. Alternate. That way you still have your 12, but it's like one every other month. Then you have longer time to build for it. 2 months versus, remember, out of SummerSlam, SmackDown only had 3 weeks to build to Backlash. That just wasn't enough time.
Right, and then 2 weeks later was what? Clash of Champions?
Yep.
Which was like, forgettable. Oh, God. It was just like every 2 weeks. Yesterday technically should have been Hell in a Cell.
Ugh.
And I was just burnt out at that point. I'm just like, oh, my goodness.
Don't feel special. It just feels like, Sunday Night Raw.
Right. Sunday Night Raw, that's gold.
That's what Clash was. That's what Clash was. Awful.
They could have did that on Raw.
Seriously. I mean, and don't even get me started about the stages. They don't even do unique stages for these shows anymore, so they just all feel the same. It's just like rinse, repeat. Here's the same rag we've been using for like how long now, and it stinks, and we should probably throw it in the wash. We're just going to keep rinsing it out and, keep using it. This rag smells like shit. Smells like somebody rubbed it on their fucking ass, but hey, keep using it. It's working. I'm like, no, it ain't. No. It's like less is more. Why does NXT work? How many pay-per-views do they have or special events?
What is it?
4.
Like 4? Yeah.
Or 5. 5 at the max.
Yep, 5. 4 or 5.
That's it. That's all you need.
they feel special. It's not just like, oh god, another takeover I got to do.
Oh no! We're looking forward to NXT Takeover Toronto. We're gonna look forward to Orlando next
now
year.
it's just like, when is it? When is Takeover? Is it coming
wait.
up soon? I can't wait for it. Why is it 3 months away? Come on!
It's like holidays. Thanksgiving. Yep. Can't wait for Thanksgiving. It's coming up. Why? It only happens once a year. Christmas, the most glorious time of the year.
Yes.
It's like, why? Because it only happens once a year. It's just like, I wish WWE would take. It's like, it just, to me, it makes no sense. Nowadays, when the product isn't that hot, they have more content than, I mean, I understand the network and, you know, blah, 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 whatnot, but it's just like, it's too much.
It is.
Dear God. So we'll have to see how this pans out, but I hope eventually they cut down 19 pay-per-views. It's just way too much.
It is.
It
really is. They're doing too much. Their wrestlers are eventually going to get burnt out.
They are.
As they already are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, you're going to keep doing the same matches over and over. It's like, you're doing them on Raw. You're doing them on the pay-per-views. Come on. This is why nobody can get over.
Exactly. It's frustrating. But here's some good news. Let's switch gears here. And injured WWE star finally returns at a live event. Kalisto, who has been out with a back injury since August, returned to action at last night's WWE event in Sioux City, Iowa, and he defeated Tyler Breeze in a singles match. So that's good to hear. Kalisto, we were wondering, where's he been? He's obviously been dealing with a back injury. We haven't really heard much. I looked recently. There hasn't been nothing said about him, but it's great to hear that he's finally returned back to in-ring action. I'd like to see him on Raw with the Cruiserweights, but that's another issue for another day. But it's good to hear that he's coming back, hopefully soon.
I didn't know he was injured, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know. I was wondering, like, why aren't they using him on SmackDown? I saw him in, like, a fatal four-way match, like, the first couple episodes, and that was it.
He's going to do his lucha thing.
Yeah, it's his lucha gimmick.
I'm sorry, that was so bad. It was so bad, it was funny. Like, that interview...
Oh my gosh, dude. That was cringe. It was like Titus O'Neil's promo.
Scripted promos. They're good. They're fun. They're real.
They're real bad.
They're real bad. Hey, nobody's gonna get over. Yet I can go out there and say, I'm gonna give you a fucking beating. Double standards. You love it? Don't you love the double standards? I'm like, serious.
Damn it.
That's bullshit. He can go out there and swear, yet if anybody said the F word, you're fired.
Yeah.
Watch.
Well, except maybe like John Cena, Brock. Because Brock just pretty much told Heath Slater he didn't give a fuck about his kids.
That was off the script, but it frustrates me. I don't even want to get started on scripted promos because I could just sink my teeth into how bad they are.
That's another video we could do. That's
yes.
We're coming up with a bunch of ideas from this. I just love it.
That's great. That's what this community is all about. Just thinking and discussing, and that's what happens when you get the brains flowing. Like I said, I'm ready to talk and discuss wrestling today. I am ready. So this has been a really great Giza Wrestling Report. But anything else you want to say about Kalisto? I just want to see the guy succeed because he is really talented. He just really, I mean, he was U.S. champion. I was enjoying his run, but that kind of ended, and it really hasn't been anything for him at the moment to go.
Well, you said it. Put him on Raw with the Cruiserweights.
Exactly.
Him versus TJ Perkins.
Ooh.
Him versus Tony Nese. Obstacle he had to get through, but it's not such a huge obstacle like Ryback that it doesn't look believable. I mean, come on. You put him on Raw with the Cruiserweights. Him, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann. The matches. They would be great.
Exactly. So we'll see. We'll see what they do with Kalisto. Speaking of another guy's status, let's talk about James Ellsworth. It is being reported by PW Insider that there are a lot of people backstage in WWE right now pushing for James Ellsworth to be signed to a full-time contract. They also say that you shouldn't be surprised if Ellsworth pops up on TV as early as this Tuesday night's SmackDown. They are also reporting that the strong sales of Ellsworth's t-shirt turned a lot of heads inside of WWE, noting if you're a fan who purchased Ellsworth's shirt, you may have helped him receive a full-time contract. Gene, let's start with you. What do you think about this? Do you think we'll see Ellsworth be signed to a full-time deal? I think we will. And where do you think they could go with him long-term?
Well, I think the fans put over young chinless wonder James Ellsworth. And I think WWE can't ignore the fact that he's, getting these merchandise sales, outselling some of their top people.
Yep.
I think it just started off as a joke to be included in Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles rivalry, but this thing has escalated because of SmackDown to the point where this man might get a full-time contract.
Wow.
And I know he can actually work a little bit. I've actually heard that he wrestles on the independents. He's been champion before. And that kick that he executed so flawlessly, and AJ put him over. I think they could do something with this guy. Maybe he has charisma, he has passion. If you heard that locker room interview he did on SmackDown, where he almost broke down in tears because of how much this meant to him, I think we need more people like that in the WWE. Give him some time to get adjusted to actually having a legitimate character in WWE. But I think they could do something with it. It's different. Why not?
Sure. I mean, I've been a fan of what they've been doing with him. It's just been fun, something you don't really take too seriously. They're obviously in a holding pattern until Survivor Series, the build kicks off. So you know what? Him and AJ, they had a fun little thing going on. And we're going to see Ambrose versus Styles. We'll get into that in our SmackDown preview. But yeah, I'd like to see them sign James Ellsworth. And like I said, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I've been enjoying what he's had to offer. And it just offers, like you said, something different to the show. So I see them definitely signing him. And I'd be interested to see where they go with him in the long run. But anything else you want to add about James Ellsworth and his status with WWE?
No, it's just amazing how you can just be put into a situation and give your all in it, and then it could potentially pay off for you. So it's great. I'm happy for him.
Exactly. So this will be the final news article here before we get into our Raw and SmackDown previews, respectively. WWE bringing back old names for a themed Raw event. As you all know, next week is Halloween. So according to PWInsider.com, there have been a lot of pitches made in creative. That's a funny word because they're not really creative. To bring back old spooky gimmicks / talents for the Halloween theme edition of Raw. Let's hear the excitement, folks. Let me know down in the comment section who's excited for the Halloween edition of Raw. Woo! Come on, let me hear you. Come on, hear the excitement. Who's ready for 3 hours of uninspired, lazy, I'd rather watch The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown for 3 freaking hours than Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry. I had to throw it out there. Awful. It's going to be... Oh, if you thought the 4th of July edition was bad...
Oh, my God.
We're going to ruin another holiday.
Get ready. We're going to have a pumpkin on a pole match.
Don't give them any ideas, please. Just don't. This is going to be...
Are they going to have an exclusive women's costume contest? Do we get to see that?
We could do that. We could do, what's it called? Musical chairs and what else?
Wait. Are we going to have Golden Truth remix their theme song for a Halloween edition? This one's for spooks. Oh, my God. It's going to be cringeworthy.
Can you just imagine? They have 3 hours to fill. I know Goldberg's going to be there. Maybe they'll have, I don't know. What could they could have him spear a scarecrow or something. I don't know.
It'll be more entertaining than Triple H versus the broomstick and his tighty whities. Yep. Oh, my goodness.
Just imagine, folks. The boogeyman. Maybe he'll eat some worms. Oh, God. This is going to be...
Dana Brooke dressing up as the Wicked Witch of the East.
In the bank match. The
food fight. Oh, the food fight.
Remember the food fight? We're going to have that again, because that's people throwing food at each other. That's pretty funny. This is going to be bad, folks.
It's going to be horrible.
It's going to be terrible.
Oh, my goodness.
If we're already getting reports about this, I don't want to imagine what they... How about instead of, thinking about old spooky gimmicks, talents, how about you think about putting on a good edition of Raw? Is that too much to ask for?
Yeah, let's worry about making Raw good before we think about bringing back themed Raws.
Seriously? It's like the Christmas, which I avoid. I never watched the Christmas edition of Raw. I had the unfortunate pleasure of going to the Raw in 2012 in Pittsburgh where, remember, folks, Santa got run over by Alberto Del Rio's car? Remember that? You remember that one? It was Mick Foley in a Santa outfit. And then Cena, remember they had the Miracle on 34th Street street fight? Cena took the bowling ball and Del Rio had to sell like it hit him in the nuts. Merry Christmas.
Turn this off, please. Just go
awful.
be with your.
I wanted to leave. I mean, that was a double taping. That was SmackDown and Raw. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God. They taped SmackDown and Raw that night.
Woo.
Oh
yeah.
my
that was
gosh.
I will never go to one of those.
It was just like they were begging you guys to leave.
Sure. And that was back
Christmas,
then.
Just go.
Awful. Just why do they have to do this? It's going to be bad. Just brace yourself, folks. Just brace yourself.
Just get ready. Holiday season.
It'll
make millions.
It's just, yeah. The ratings will probably be, well, it's Halloween. I mean, people are, I don't know. I don't know what the ratings will be like, but I dread. I really do dread.
Oh my God. Is Shining Stars going to come out and pass out candy and pamphlets?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So, anything else you want to say about Raw is Halloween next week?
No.
I mean, well, that's fitting considering it's already a joke.
Is New Day gonna have the spooky edition of Bootios? Like, oh my God.
Know they're gonna do something.
Spookios?
Well, Spookios. Yeah. Remember Scooby Doo? He can come back to Raw. You know,
Scooby.
You can Fred. I mean, the possibilities. Mr. McMahon or whatever that McMahon Dow, Damien. This is great, folks. God. We're giving them all these ideas. If somebody's listening to WWE, I better get credit for this.
Just get ready for it. It's going to be just the greatest episode ever.
Yes, it will be. So we have that to look forward to. But this is a great segue. Let's talk about Raw tonight. Tonight, folks, it is official. On the October 24th, 2016 edition, Brock Lesnar will be returning to respond with Paul Heyman in tow to Goldberg's challenge. And it says, will we learn where and when this match will be taking place? No matter what the anomaly has to say, Goldberg will surely be watching. So, hey, at least we're guaranteed a great promo by Paul Heyman tonight. That's really what I'm looking forward to watching.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all you have to look forward to with Brock Lesnar is Paul Heyman's promos.
He's going to sell his ass off. You know, he's going to make you want to salivate to see this match. And
he's going to put him over.
Yes, he will. And that's what I love about Paul. So that should be good. We also have, this is dumb, the triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens. Now, the reason I say it's dumb is the fact that it says this could possibly alter the landscape of the Universal Championship match if Rollins stands a chance against both KO. The mind games are a must. I'm like, but the fact that Stephanie said they wanted them on the same page, and now you book a triple threat match, and it's the 6 days before the pay-per-view, and it's just like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, first of all, fuck Stephanie, because I don't know what she's doing. She's confusing me. I want you guys on the same page, but I want you to fight each other. Fight each other so that you can stop Seth Rollins. But I like Seth Rollins. I'm going to look at him lustfully like I want him to win the championship because I want him to be this way. But at the same time, I need you guys on the same page for Survivor Series because SmackDown challenged us. But tear each other's limbs from limbs in this match. What does she want? I don't know.
Now, I found a way that could make sense. Okay, we go. Looks like the match is going to happen. Rollins gets double teamed and beat the holy effing shit out of by Owens and Jericho, and the match never happens. What do you think of that scenario?
Well, that
just
would
a
make
vicious,
sense.
brutal beatdown. That way they're on the same page. We don't get the match. We save that for a later date. That's what I'd like to see happen.
Yeah, but we're giving Raw too much credit. What's going to happen is they're going to
have a really good. It'll be a good match, but
it's just going to be pointless.
Yes.
I think what they're doing, they're still building towards the potential Jericho versus Owens.
And I want to see that. I do.
Because it progressed last week a little bit. Not that I did enjoy because anything Jericho does now, I enjoy it.
Yes.
It's like my favorite part of Raw. So I'm thinking that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna double team Rollins, and then they're gonna feel like each other's getting in the way. Jericho's gonna want the pin to make himself look good. Owens will like, no, I need the pin, and then that's when they're gonna start fighting.
Okay. Well, I just don't think the match should be happening, so that's why I'd look for a way to avoid the match. That's why I do the double team beatdown. That way, puts heat on them, and it makes Seth, look like more builds on his babyface character. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
builds the sympathy for
They
his
won't do
babyface
that.
character. No, they won't.
You know what they're also going to do? Cesaro and Sheamus versus the New Day.
Why are we doing this match now?
6 days before your pay-per-view, folks. Are you going to care 6 days from now? No. Why? You saw the match on Raw.
What are we doing here?
You have 3 hours to fill.
So let's give away the match before it happens.
Yep.
Really?
Your thoughts?
let's give them a non-title match right before their title match. Because it doesn't matter if they win or lose, they still get their title match. Because Raw. Monday Night Raw.
Exciting, folks.
Man.
It's captivating. Yeah, drink it in. Now I'll be spitting it out. That's what I'll be doing.
Like Triple H's entrance.
Exactly. I have a scenario here. Okay, to avoid this match, they should do this. Okay, if you're going to advertise this match, I'd have Cesaro and Sheamus not agree on who wants to start the match. You would preferably maybe have Sheamus walk out on Cesaro, and then Cesaro tries valiantly to take on the New Day in what would now be a 2-on-1 handicap match. And eventually, you could do some kind of, maybe he, it looks like he can get the win, but eventually he would obviously fall victim to the New Day, and it creates that seed of doubt. Well, can Sheamus and Cesaro be on the same page this Sunday at Hell in a Cell? What do you think?
I think that would be great, and they could build off of it.
Yeah,
because you have Sheamus walk away, you have Cesaro getting killed by 3 people in this match, even though it's going to be 2-on-1, but you still got Xavier on the outside. They're going to kill Cesaro, and then you have Cesaro go back to talk to Sheamus like, "Yo, what the hell? I thought we were a team, man. Let's kill all of these games. We both know we're both badasses. We both know we can both dominate. Let's go out there and win the championships. Okay, we don't like each other. That's fine, but neither did this person and that person or something like that. Let's put all of our differences aside, kill the gimmicks, kill the Facebook Live stuff, and let's go out there and beat the New Day because they just feel like they're unstoppable. We have gotten the short end of the stick for far too long. It's time for us to take over and get what we rightfully deserve. Mick Foley gave us an opportunity. Maybe not the one we wanted, but it's an opportunity nonetheless. So why not take that chance, go out there and take those tag team championships from them at the pay-per-view?
Amen.
Sorry, I just went off.
That's great. No, I think what I said and then how you followed that up, I would that way you keep the match from happening. That should be the goal. Avoid the match as long as possible until the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
But what are we going to get? We're going to get probably a good match, but it shouldn't happen. It should not happen until Sunday.
So we pretty much will know if they have this match, we'll know the outcome of Sunday. Because if Cesaro and Sheamus beat them tonight, they're going to lose. There's that 50. Oh, the 50-50 booking, man.
It rears its ugly head.
Half it in, man.
Yep. I mean, nobody gets over.
I swear I made a video on this a couple months ago. It doesn't get anybody over. Nope. They just consistently do it. It's
laziness because they can't think of anything better to do. Yet we were able to think of something to do in, 2 minutes?
Right. That would be great.
It just shows you they're not even trying with this shit.
Here's what we're going to do, guys. Okay. We're going to have the tag team match tonight. Okay. It'll make millions. Okay. Don't worry about it. We're going to have Cesaro and Sheamus go over. Okay. Now listen. I'm Vincent Kennedy McMahon. So this Sunday, at the pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, you guys are going to lose to the New Day. Okay? How about that? It'll make millions. Like, why? Why?
There's no long-term direction. They're booking this shit week to week. That's why. That's another reason.
It just says this is a good idea.
So if that doesn't get you excited, well, actually, this is one thing I'm interested in. It talks about Sami Zayn taking on Braun Strowman. As we all know, Zayn stood up to Strowman last week on Raw. That was an interesting thing, I have to say, from last week's god-awfully boring edition of Raw. I think Zayn would be a good guy to put into the ring with Braun Strowman. He would bump around and sell tremendously for Strowman, and it does give finally something for Sami Zayn to do. I'm interested in this. I'd like to see where it goes. What do you think about this?
I was kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, I love Sami Zayn, and I love the work that Braun Strowman I know he can do because
Yep.
I've been seeing a little bit of it. But this makes no sense. Why are they fighting? He said he's standing up to him because nobody else would. All right, that's fine. So what are you gonna try to do? The whole David versus Goliath storyline? I'm not gonna completely just crap on it yet until I see what they do.
Sure.
But if they just go and have a match and Strowman kills him in 2 seconds, I don't see the point. It doesn't make Sami Zayn look any better than they already aren't making him look.
Yeah.
Because he's directionless at this point. So just feed Strowman? Why?
Yeah, that's my. I am worried about that. So
well,
I
at
don't
least
have
it
any...
isn't Mark Henry and Big Show. I guess I should be happy about that.
Sure. So we'll see where they go with that. And then finally, it talks about Charlotte and Sasha. It says, will they clash before their descent into Hell in a Cell this Monday night tonight on Raw? That should be interesting. I really wish they would play up the sense of fear that Sasha and Charlotte should be having going into Hell in a Cell. I mean, they're talking about making history. You know, they say it over and over again, and they are. Don't get me wrong. I'm really excited for them, but I feel like they've really been lacking on, you know, being like, Sasha should be like, I'm afraid of going into this match. I mean, Hell in a Cell has changed careers, you know, and Charlotte should talk up the fact, well, you know, I injured Sasha at SummerSlam, and I'm going to take her back and ram it into every little piece of steel inside that cell and potentially cripple this woman because that's what the queen does.
This would be, I enjoy that, but I'm going to take it a step further. Why not have them maybe, if not inside like an empty arena, have them in some type of area where the Hell in a Cell structure is, or something like that, and have them like scale it a little bit and have them do that. Like have Sasha. I know I've been injured in the past, but you know, this structure is surreal. I'm going to have to go in there and give it my all if I want to retain my championship. And then you have Charlotte, like you said, you know, I injured Charlotte at SummerSlam, so I'm going to take advantage of all these little steel grates. I'm going to ram her body into it and just destroy her and break her for the final time so she never wrestles in this company again. Do something like that.
We
don't have to have them.
It's just been history, and we get that. You can play that up, but also play up they should be afraid of going into Hell in a Cell. Seriously.
Yep. Afraid and motivated. Have them take a look at the Hell in a Cell. Nobody else around. Have them talk to like the camera as if they're being interviewed. But
They're allowed to look into the camera. Wait, remember, can't look into the camera. They have to look to the side. Another thing I hate that they do now. Don't look into the camera. You might connect.
You might connect, goddammit. I'm the only one that can connect with the crowd.
Yeah. I hate that.
Both of my quads.
I could do a whole video on them not looking into the camera.
Oh, yeah.
I could do a review like that where I just look off to the side the whole time. Hey, guys, welcome to my Raw review. I'm looking over here at the wall. I'm looking down at the floor.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on this review.
My back is turned to you.
This is a lovely review we're doing.
I might just do that. If Raw is so god-awful, maybe I will. Just throwing it out there, folks. We'll see. It's going to be we'll see. You never know what'll happen. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they'll do tonight. I just hope they play up the vicious side of the cell. That's all.
Right.
So I feel that Raw can be good if booked correctly. So I'm not going to. We'll wait and see what happens. Who knows? I mean, it's just there are a number. It's just the announcement of the 2 matches already. If they go in the direction that we kind of outlined here, I'd like to see that. Okay, then. But if they have the matches, I'm just going to be like, why? You know, why?
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. So, we'll have to see how Raw turns out, but we'll be skeptical going in. But let's talk about SmackDown Live.
Yes.
This is something to get excited about. We got SmackDown coming up this Tuesday. The A Show is back. And in a battle for brand supremacy, here's what Shane McMahon and DB have lined up for this coming Tuesday. If you haven't heard already, it's been confirmed. AJ Styles will step into the ring against Dean Ambrose. Non-title match, but it should be a really good match. And it says if Ambrose can beat the Phenomenal One, he will become the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. And that should be a really good match. We also have a Kane versus Bray Wyatt match in a no disqualification situation. Not really looking forward to that. All I want to say is I hope Wyatt wins. Just continue to have Bray freaking Wyatt win. No reason for Kane. And I'll get into this, stumbling over my words here, but you heard my scenario about Kane becoming brainwashed and becoming the surrogate like monster guy that they could for the Wyatts is what I'm trying to say, and have
The rich man's Eric Rowan. I said Eric Rowan.
Have Kane put the sheep's mask on. That's what I'd like to see happen.
Did I say Eric Rowan? What the hell is his name?
Braun Strowman.
No, not Strowman. I mean Rowan.
Oh, Rowan.
I called him. I don't know this man's name.
The guy that lost to The Rock in 3 seconds.
That guy. That guy. He made millions. But yeah, have Kane become that part of it.
Yes. Be different.
Like you said, brainwash. That'd be good. It's hard. It'd be hard to brainwash Kane.
Sure. But at this point, what does Kane have left to do? I mean, what are you going to do with him? You're going to have him beat guys that remember strip down in the middle of the ring and what, he's the milkman or whatever? No.
The milkman!
Yeah, remember that, folks? We don't want to see that. So, no. Let's do the brainwashing, please.
I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like what they could do with that. It will help get Bray Wyatt over, which is what they should have been doing.
Dear God. It's been a bad year for Bray. Awful.
They could have did this angle when he was going after Taker. Like they did a little bit when they abducted them, but they never capitalized. They just showed back up next week. They
could have. They dropped the ball on that one. So we'll have to see where they go with that. And we finally have women's champion Becky Lynch will make her return to SmackDown Live, and it'll be interesting to hear what Becky has to say ahead of her title match against Alexa Bliss. Looking forward to that. So I'm looking forward to SmackDown, especially Styles versus Ambrose. That's at the top of my list, along with Becky returning. So looks like it's going to be a really good show this week.
Yeah, it definitely does. Like, you could have told me it was going to be Mauro Ranallo's right shoe versus Rowan's sheep mask, and I would have tuned in to SmackDown to see it. Because anything they do, you put James Ellsworth in the main event against AJ Styles and made it look great. How does one do that? Yep. I don't know. And then you have Talking Smack, which has become my favorite show on the network that isn't like a pay-per-view show. Talking Smack is great because it's kind of like half shoot, half gimmick, but it flows together so well. Like they pointed out how Renee, like they had Dolph Ziggler on or something like that, and I forgot, they were talking about, I think it was Nikki Bella dating John Cena or something like that, and then or something like that, and then they were talking about because Dolph was like, so don't you want Dean Ambrose to win, to Renee Young, because they're dating, and I'm just like, oh my God, They finally said something about it.
Yeah, Talking Smack is really good. I wish they would do that on their main roster. Just take what you're doing on Talking Smack promo-wise. There you go. It's right there in front of you. Take that and put it on your shows.
Right. It's like they replaced the .com interviews with Talking Smack. And it's what's best for them.
I bet you Roman Reigns would get over if you just let him talk some smack without a scripted promo. Seriously.
I got a rant on Roman Reigns. And it's not nothing against him either.
Yep.
It's
He's just reading the lines they write for him.
Because I think before we end this, I know you guys probably are tired now, but I just got to say this. Rollins' promo on Jericho on Raw, it was funny, but it was cringeworthy. Because remember when Reigns was doing the whole Sovereign Succotash thing?
Yeah, I tried to erase that from my mind.
And they gave Roman hell for that. But because of Seth Rollins, he just got a pass for it. Like, how is that any different? I'm sorry. I just don't understand. Okay.
Now, I see it's everybody's suffering from this god-awful creative team. I mean, the writing is just atrocious. And it's not Rollins' fault. It's not Reigns. They're just given the paper. And, I mean, the only fault you could find in them is how they, deliver it. That would be a fault you could find, but it's just like, still, it's awful. They need to go to a Talking Smack format. Just take that, put it on your main roster, and you watch. I bet you these guys would get over so much easier if you allowed them to just be themselves.
You put Roman Reigns on Talking Smack, and he probably will address everything. Oh, the fans don't like me? Well, I don't give a damn. I'm the champion.
I'd love to see him heel so bad. Oh,
For the ones that do like me, that's
Yep.
fine. I thank you. You're rolling with me. You're in the Roman Empire. But if you're against me, it's always one versus all. So it's us versus you. So it doesn't matter if you like me or you hate me, because I got support either way it go. Why can't they let him do that?
I'm going to throw this out there. Imagine if the club got traded to SmackDown, the Usos got traded to Raw, you have the heel Usos reunite with a heel Roman Reigns. There's your Samoan Dynasty faction.
Wow. And I love what the Usos have transferred into.
Yes, but man, there it is. Their money. I'm telling you right there. Heel Reigns with the heel Usos just dominating and be like imagine Reigns in the Negan-like role, just a vicious, arrogant son of a bitch, you know.
There you go. And then whoever he's feuding with, he has, the Usos do his dirty work, attack them in the locker room, the parking lot, the shower.
Yep.
Why not?
Man, they won't do it because this company rests on its laurels. It's just...
I could just see it. You just have him doing that.
Yep.
And then you have him, whoever he's feuding against, just like never giving in to him. Like,
can you imagine Rollins struggling, trying to just get a hand on Reigns, and the Usos come in and they take him down, and they're just Reigns gives him a smug, arrogant look. Just and Rollins is like he's getting beat up, and then it's just like, oh, you feel for the guy, and it's just like he came this close, but the Usos find a way to just cut him off.
And then Rollins tells him he's gonna find a way. Maybe not today, maybe not next week, but he's gonna get you. I'm gonna take out you and your family. Because you guys think you're hot shit, and then they keep attacking him. Come on,
gets me excited. I like Reigns, but I just as a heel, he'd freaking kill it, and you unite him with the Usos. That's just my idea. I'd love to see that trade happen. Put the club back with AJ on SmackDown. Boom, you have Balor, babyface Balor go after Reigns. Boom, there's just a babyface Cesaro go after Reigns. Sami Zayn go after Reigns. Do I have to continue? The list is endless.
Right.
Put Samoa Joe in as a fourth member. Ooh.
Oh my gosh. The Samoan Dynasty would be complete.
Yes, it would be. Oh man. That's I like that name. Samoan Dynasty. It just has a nice ring.
It does. They could do this.
They could. They can. They don't want to. They just want. It's sad. See, now I'm getting excited, and then we're gonna watch Raw.
And then it's gonna be like happy, joy, disappointment.
Oh god. Product placement.
Right. We're trying to get this payday endorsement. Buy this timeshare in the Shining Star of the Caribbean.
Awful.
Yeah.
So
this one's for you. Ugh. You want it? You got it. The golden truth. Like, why are we doing this? This would be a depressing episode of Raw.
Sure, it probably will be. So let's set the bar low. So if they blow us away, we're excited. So we'll see what happens, folks. But Gene, anything you want to add here before we close out the Giza Wrestling Report?
No, man, this was just incredible. I enjoyed talking wrestling as always, and I enjoy being featured on your channel. Thank you so much for having me on.
You get a plug-in for your channel as well.
As always, guys, you guys can find me on BSP Wrestling Show. You can just search me up on the YouTube. I'm now starting to do WWE 2K17 videos. I'm trying to get my bearings together of how I want to do my videos, but I also, of course, do the wrestling reviews and wrestling video topics if you guys want to check me out. Yeah, so
very nice. So yeah, everybody, thank you for tuning into this live Giza Wrestling Report. I appreciate your comments there in the chat box, and I also want to say, remember to please click my like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. And of course, I will be back up here tonight for my live review, breaking down everything that took place on Monday Night Raw at 11:10 p.m. here on Google and YouTube. So without further ado, that is it, guys. That closes out the Giza Wrestling Report. I will be back up here to talk Raw with you later on tonight, so be on the lookout for that. So until then, guys, take care and have a great rest of your day.